Hi everybody, I'm Stefan for cgtestplus.com, and in this tutorial we are going to create the cool wireframe effect you saw in the preview. So let's start. In order to show you the effect, I'm going to use the Grayscale Gorilla City Kit, and I'm going to use some of the presets, and in this case I'm going to use the MoGraph City. So I'm going to just double click the city, and as you can see we have a scene with a city right now. And just go to the render settings and change the resolution, and for the output I'm going to use half HD, and just close this for now. And I'm going not to waste your time, so let's start. Let's create a circle, and first of all let's zoom out a bit and select the city and hit preview, so it's easier to navigate in the viewport. And let's select the circle, move it up, and change the plane for the circle and increase it to 2000, for example. Select the camera, right click, Cinema 4D tags, align to spline, and just select the tag and drop the circle inside, and create a new object and add a target tag to the camera and put the null here. And I did a tutorial about doing such tricks in Cinema 4D, and I'm not going to explain anything about it now, and just focus on the effect we are going for. So select the circle and set the radius to 3000, and select the new object, move it up a bit like so, and select the camera and set it to 15mm camera. And in this case we can move like so, and probably decrease the radius a bit, and select the city rig and just increase the size of the city. As you can see, we need to increase it a lot to fill the screen, and probably take the new object and move it like so, and just let's see it at full preview with the details for the buildings. And it takes a bit of time to render because it's a massive amount of detail right here. And basically that's it. As you can see, and we can increase some of the settings here. Let's see if we change this, for example. Some of the buildings are higher. Basically that's it. We are not going to waste more time here, and just animate our camera. Go to frame 0, set a keyframe for the position, and we are going to do a 200 frames animation just for the sake of this tutorial, so it's going to render faster. And set this to 100, let's see how the animation goes. So let's come to the city rig, turn off the preview checkbox, and let's see the detail here, and that's fine. We are going to render a one pass just like this now, and open the render settings, come to effect and turn on cell renderer, which is the wireframe render, and as you can see, I'm going to turn off the ambient occlusion, and I'm going to do a render so you can see how it looks like. It takes a bit of time, and as you can see, everything is white and the lines are black, and we can leave it like so and invert it in After Effects, but I prefer to set the edge color to white and the background color to black. And as you can see, we have outline and edges, and if we turn on edges and do a render, you can see that we have the edges of the buildings. And if we turn on outline as well and do another render, you can see we have the outline plus the edges. And from my experience, I noticed that there are some artifacts like the lines are flickering and stuff like that. That's why I turn off edges and leave only the outlines for the buildings, and that's it. That's the way I prefer to work. So I'm going to let's hit save, and for the anti-aliasing you can set it to 1 by 1 by 1 by 1 for the wireframe render, and you can leave it like so for the regular render as well. So I'm going to set my output location and render the two passes and jump into After Effects to composite it. But before doing that, I'm going to select the floor, and we have a compositing tag here, and let's turn off our camera. And we need to select our floor, right click Cinema 4D tags and choose external compositing and turn it as a solid, and set the size to probably 1000 by 1000, and we are going to save a After Effects project file right here. Save After Effects project file with include 3D data, and we are going to save the project file. So on the place where is the 4, we are going to set a radio waves effect and use it as a matte to review the wireframe renderer and add some cool glows and stuff to make the effect looks cooler. So that's it. I'm going to pause the video, render the passes, and jump into After Effects to composite and finish the scene. Here we are in After Effects with our render, and as you can see, we have the wireframe only, so we need to import, the beauty pass and drop it on top of everything. And let's make it 24 frames per second, and this is our animation. It's swooped, as you can see, and here is our floor layer. Here we need to actually delete all the keyframes, we don't need them, and let's rotate it 90 degrees on the x-axis And basically what we are going to do is to create a new composition with size of 2000 by 2000 pixels, or maybe even larger, and set the frame rate to 24 frames per second. Create a new layer, and let's go with radio waves, and let's come to effect, generate radio waves, and set the color of the radio waves to white, and increase the start and end width. Also decrease the frequency to 0.3, and let's play it to see the effect. I think the effect is pretty cool, and we are going to duplicate the layer and just offset it just a few frames so our waves are bigger. And this is our waves matte, and we are going to drop it right here and make it a 3D layer and rotate it 90 degrees. And if we saw this layer, we can see we have the radio waves. We need to scale it up quite a bit, like 8000 probably. Turn off the 4 layer and just apply a blur and sharpen fast blur, and blur with 100 pixels our radio waves matte layer, and take the city whoop, put it below the wireframe, and set the wireframe to alpha matte. This way it appears only where are the radio waves, and we are going to duplicate the radio waves once again, and by holding down Alt and page up and page down, I'm offsetting the layers with 1 frame, as you can see. So I think this is okay, and we are going to select the waves, duplicate the camera, select one of the cameras, the waves matte and the wireframe, Ctrl Shift C to pre-compose it, and let's go with wireframe. Change the blending mode to add, and open it, set a black solid for a background, create an adjustment layer, Ctrl Alt Y to create the adjustment layer, come to blur, fast blur, repeat edge pixels, set the blurriness to 1, set the blending mode to screen, duplicate it and set the blurriness to 20 or 10, come to effect, color correction, color balance, set the blue balance to highlight blue balance to 100% and the mid-tone balance to 50, and check the reverse luminosity checkbox. And if we come to our main composition, here is the result we are getting so far, and you can select the wireframe composition in the project panel, and let's call this one main. Select the wireframe, duplicate it, and let's go with wireframe shine. Oops. Wireframe shine, and delete the adjustment layers and the background. Come to the main composition, drop it here, and change the blending mode to screen this time. Come to effect, trap coat shine, set the colorize to none, and move the shine here, and we can change the blending mode to add or screen or none, normal, I prefer none, and we can just increase it a bit and probably copy the actually colorize the shine using some of the color presets for the shine. And let's see, we need to set this to add probably, so it's more intense, or screen. And you need to tweak the settings and play with it, but basically that's the result. And for example, you can add a white in the scene, a point white, and we can move it here, and if we apply optical flares we can get some nice effects. So let's choose a flare. This one is a good flare, and set it to track whites and set blending mode to screen. And you can change the color of the flare as well, and increase the scale. You can move the white like so, and you can change the flare type to anamorphic flare, so it's more interesting. Probably this one. And if we already change the blending mode to screen for the wireframe, it's not going to be so intense. And finally we can create an adjustment layer and come to color correction, tint, and just tint everything a bit. Add color correction curves, increase the highlights and crush the blacks to increase the contrast overall, and add a bit of bluish color in the shadows. And finally we can create a black solid and call it vignette, and add a bit of vignette just like that. Change the blending mode to classic color burn and set the opacity to 20% or so, and as you can see it works. And let's call this one CC for color correction, and create another one and call it grain. Come to noise and grain, add grain, set it to final output, set the size to 0.3 and the intensity to 0.2. And finally we can create another one and call it edge blur, and put it below the vignette. Make a mask, invert it, set the feather to 200, come to blur and sharpen, fast blur. I would like to use the camera lens blur, but in this case I'm going to use the fast blur only. And if we reduce the feather, we can get something like that. And it depends, you can use a lens blur with a gradient map to do this type of effect. And we can change the flare to add, but it will blow out the background. So that's it. And you can use for example an atom array to trace the edges of your shapes, and just lower the radius of the spheres in the cylinders, and put a white luminous material on it, but this will generate geometry, and it will be a bit heavy to render. So I think that the cell renderer is the best solution for the wireframe. And yes, that's it. Hope you liked the tutorial and it was useful for you. Once again, I'm Stefan for cgtouchpost.com, and we'll see you next time.